The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome all to another exciting edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your humble, lovable, and squeezably soft host. Once more, do we go into the breach, dear friends?
The following takes place between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m.
And what do we have? Well, if you missed it and you blinked, we are down now 15 points after being up at about 3,010 on the S&P cash. We're down to about 29.64. Pretty good support, right at about 29.50-ish. My guess, though, is we'll see maybe a little bit more selling into Friday. I was kind of surprised that we got the bounce this morning. I thought we really needed to at least go retest yesterday's low, if not a little lower. Fund buying, yeah, you know what? A lot of people misinterpret it as that they have to buy that day. They just have to buy by really. They have to be long by, what is it going to be here? August, okay. They're going to be long by the third day, which is Monday. And a lot of times, I've never seen anybody sued for being long the fourth day. A lot of times when the market's headed down, they'll just let it continue to go down. They won't try to buy. When everybody else decides to buy, they'll buy too. I actually wrote my newsletter. I thought that would be maybe Monday-ish. And I thought, well, maybe I'll buy into the close on Friday. I was a little nervous because of the Hong Kong thing. If nothing happens over the weekend with Hong Kong, then I think Monday is probably, maybe in the morning, maybe in the afternoon, is probably the low for the week as we go into options expiration on the 16th. That'll leave us a full 2 weeks of trading going into Monday morning. A lot of people just going to want to have to sit back a little bit and let this really kind of wash over them and get an idea of how it is. But you know, what can you say? Apple did not hold the 215. It's trading out at 209. Of course, that's 10%, almost 10.5% of the NASDAQ 100. So you can expect a fairly decent move out of that. In fact, let's go back up here and do all of these. 2960 is what I show. Dow 30's off 188. Let's update that, see if it's moved. 192. So, yeah, we're at 2960, and this is where support probably a little bit starts. 2950, really, really strong support. NASDAQ's off 37, and the Russell's down. Very interesting gaming what 10% tariffs do for China. I heard some people early on say, well, that we'll be paying a lot more for things. And then that shifted to, well, they're just going to move everything to Vietnam and manufacture there. That's already happened a great deal. Malaysia, Vietnam, and those other countries. I think those countries have to love us. I mean, we're moving vast amounts of production into those third world countries. And, you know, things got to get better for them, getting jobs, doing all that kind of stuff. I know jobs are a dirty word here in the United States. We're all filthy rich Americans, and we shouldn't expect jobs. But it is certainly one of these things where I don't see the big downside that everybody else sees. China, for every 5 people, or maybe even 10 people that are employed in China for making U.S. stuff, we'd lose about 1 person. And if you transfer those 10 jobs to much smaller countries, like Malaysia or Vietnam or the other ones down there in the Indian subcontinent, may not be as bad as everybody says. Maybe it's the last couple of years of everything is going to hell in a handbasket. And it's never really played out, has jaded me to the people that are continually saying the end of the world is nigh. I was hoping for this pullback. We even talked about it yesterday and the day before, where 2950, on light volume would be pretty sweet. Probably have big volume today. But we get light volume and a push lower tomorrow and Friday. We may have enough and large enough pullbacks to at least make a temporary floor, especially going into what will probably be fairly decent fund buying come Monday. We also have a change this month, and that is the Fed is not going to be pulling out $30 billion of funds out of the bond market. It's going to leave it in there. I think a lot of people have discounted how effective that was and what the reaction was when they started that. It was pretty strong. We had, a huge whip down as that kind of came in, and might offer an opportunity to buy some stocks at a discount. We were kind of high on a lot of them. I thought maybe we get a pullback, but the market, at least the charts I look at, do not signal the end of the world. But a lot of people been kind of looking at that. So a lot of people were buying protection to the downside with the VIX. In fact, we've got the huge move today. UVXY was down in the low 25s, now printing almost to the $30 mark. So we're seeing the actually first big move that looks like it may even be able to close that way into the end of the day, but we shall see. But like I said, I think this is probably going to burn itself out fairly quick over the next couple of days. And I don't know if there's anything else I can say about it other than that. You can give me a call at 877-927-6648. You can email me at path@tfnn.com. And, of course, you can always put a message in the den. But that's it. Okay. What do we got? We got time for a little bit of history?
That it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
On this day in 1981, MTV, presumably standing for music television, although they don't do that anymore, launches on cable TV. As almost all people know, after the introduction sequence, the first video played was Video Killed the Radio Star by the Buggles. However, a bit of trivia is the second song played was You Better Run by Pat Benatar. MTV had an immediate impact on the music industry and was an iconic symbol of the technology-driven 1980s. Of course, I don't know when it was, maybe 1982 or 3. That song from a-ha came out, and I learned what rotoscoping was, and that blew me away. And that was I think that was the first time that I really thought that maybe a future career in video graphics was something I wanted to get interested in. Take Me On was the name of the song. We'll be back in a minute.
If you're not currently using the TAS Profile Scanner when looking at setting up your trading opportunities, then your arsenal is short a mighty weapon. The TAS Profile Scanner is a standalone piece of software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Headed by Steve Dahl, TAS understands that in today's technological world, the use of top-flight software applications and technical analysis expertise is essential to successful trading in today's market. You also gain access to the webinar that Steve Dahl and Tom O'Brien just hosted, The Best Way to Use the TAS Profile Scanner to Profit. This webinar archive is available for all subscribers immediately upon signing up. All new subscriptions also come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Start your subscription by visiting the front page of TFNN.com today, and you'll find the TAS Profile Scanner under the Services tab. Sign up today. Are you in the market for buying or selling real estate in the Bay Area, including the surrounding St. Petersburg, Tampa, and Clearwater markets? Tiger Real Estate LLC is a firm that has extensive experience in the Tampa Bay area. Whether you're looking to sell your current property for maximum value, or you're in the market for a second home or investment property, Tiger Realty has the experience across all areas of real estate in the Tampa Bay area to help buyers and sellers make the most informed decisions across all price levels. From the price you should be paying per square foot in certain up-and-coming areas to the type of cash flow investment properties are capable of creating, Tiger Real Estate can help you make the best decision when it comes to all areas of the market. Before you make one of the biggest decisions of your financial future, call Tiger Real Estate LLC today at 727-329-8322 or email us at tiger@tfnn.com. That's 727-329-8322. Call us today.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
TFNN has launched our brand new website. You can still visit us at the same TFNN.com URL, but when you do, you'll see a new and improved homepage with a much simpler navigation, whether you're watching Tiger TV live in high definition or just accessing your newsletter subscriptions. We even have new pricing in 6 months and yearly options. Check out the new TFNN.com now and experience all the upgrades. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
And we're back. I've got 2958. Let's update this just to make sure, because sometimes these things are dragging a little bit behind. So we're off 21 points on the S&P cash, off 197 on the Dow. Nasdaq's down 49, and Russell's off 16 and a half. So we got a pretty decent move on a few of these. Let's go and start looking at these and see if there's anything in these. As I said, we've got fun money coming in. I know it isn't all in quite yet. Come on, there we go. And let's do this. Clean this up a little bit. Now, kind of in volume, tie goes to the runner. I didn't like the way that the SMHs did have kind of lighter volume coming off the May 29th low up to this current high on July 24th. But, when you got up there, you did have enough volume, about 6.9 million shares compared to the 6.9 million shares you had on the previous high of April 24th. I would have liked to have seen a lot more of that. A lot of that was just summer trading. So we got the move down in here. You've got a gap at about 112 on the SMHs. Probably going to need to see more volume to blow through those. So about 112 on the SMHs set some stuff up. I wanted to see how AMD was doing today. We've talked about this gap down at 29, and it's here on AMD. Volume yesterday was pretty good. Volume today, not so much, but that 2950 area looks fairly good. Now, that one truly had lighter volume at the high and lighter energy on the way back up. It was a hat trick of a weak stock going into telling everybody that its margins were going lower, as we talked about on, was it Wednesday or Tuesday? Some of the other ones out there, kind of interesting. Qualcomm came out with earnings, of course, and it was a bit weaker. It's down $2.40 today. But it's back in this area, about $68, which we hit this morning. 68.25 is the support range in this. You've got one more low back here at 64.76. Still like this company long term. The energy is less on the way down than on the way up. You may just be getting a retest of that $65 level. If it does on light volume, I like that going forward. What else do we have out here? I want to take a look at some other ones. Let's take a quick look at the TLT. So I said yesterday that was what we want to be watching, because that's going to tell us a great deal. It's up 1 7/10. It is breaking the previous high and doing so on some significant volume. Let's call it 11 million shares on July 3rd. Breaking through that today was 16 million shares already. So you do have a sign of strength in the TLT going higher. What else do we have that I wanted to look at? A handful of other things out here, but we will take a look. Okay. Question about Micron. MU at 43.10, down 4% today. Support comes in there at about $42. So I imagine that we've got the SMHs and the rest of them all kind of lining up for support in maybe a day or so if this continues. The IYT, take a quick look at that. Get a little bit of an idea how this one's doing. Volume's been fairly good the last couple of days. Of course, this thing's done nothing but really go sideways for about 7 days. And, you're down. Volume's okay, but this one's kind of spotty. The last big down day had 224,000 shares. Now you got 306,000 shares so far. But you probably need some in the range of about 500,000 to blow out the bottom. 306 so far today. So we'll see how the rest of that goes. GLDs had some nice movements over the last day or so. And the question is, do you get into a triple top or does it break out? I think you really got a pattern here that says it's time to do or die. And you need about 24 million shares. You got about 15 million shares so far. So you can get 20, but you're not going to get that 25 of the June 25th high. And that's kind of what you were looking for a lot stronger move on this. So pretty much do or die time for gold on the way higher. What else did I want to look at? Got a question already about DDD. And of course we had SYSS come out with earnings too. And it's just in this trading range that's kind of lower. It hadn't been able to break through this gap down. There are a lot of things coming in this sector. The question is, do they still have enough cash to participate in the next run higher? As we said, SSYS came out with earnings after the bell last night. They are also in the 3D printing, or otherwise known as the additive manufacturing business. This is going right back to the support level in the 25s that you've seen a few times out here. Of course, the big sign of strength from June 28th that came up on 5.2 million shares. You're back into that now with 1 million shares. This had that huge move on earnings, pre-earnings actually, and it was just one of these stocks that was ludicrously shorted and a real problem for everybody to get into. And we're almost there. Should be into support here in just a minute. We're at 29.54 on the S&P cash, so getting very close. Maybe it'll wash out a lot quicker than I think, but I'm thinking we probably have some kind of low come in here around this area. So we'll see how the market closes. Even if we get a low, though, I don't think we instantly bounce. I think that happens again on Monday. XLE, that one is down a bit. These are a lot of triangular patterns with lower lows and higher lows and higher lows and lower highs. You really haven't got out of this in energy yet. A lot of the stocks did have this pattern that I generally tell people that I want to go against, which is basically what we have in the market right now, lasts about 2 or 3 days. So I see a lot of things setting up for the ability to do something. Now, one of the most interesting things is with all the hoopla and ballywicks, I haven't been able to use those two words in a long time, Microsoft, which is still higher on the day. It was much higher, of course, but not on the downside today, which tells you a little bit about the strength of the number one stock in the QQQs. We'll be back in a minute.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN and you'll find The Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get them, folks!
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartleys, ABCs, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And we're back. Question about Tesla. Of course, they're opening up a very expensive manufacturing plant in China. I always wondered about that because the financing is from China. What happens if the tariff issue does continue to move with these guys? Will China just be like every other communist country and just let the government grab the whole thing? The only good thing, I think, is that no one would lend the money to build the plant in Western countries, so they actually got the financing from China. Probably the only thing that's good, because if they take it over, then I guess Tesla can thumb their nose at repaying any of that debt. But again, at the same time, they've got a Tesla factory ready to go. And they can build as many Teslas as they want over there. Probably not give a dime to Tesla itself. Kind of an interesting idea about how some of these tariff issues will play out. If you're just joining us now, there was an announcement an hour and some odd ago, right smack dab in the middle of Steve Rhodes' show, how inhospitable could they be to do that? Certainly right in the middle of the show. And it kind of rolled. This, of course, missed earnings before. The only thing I dislike about it is, we had a really good short on this one from about 340 down to 230 or so. And I did it and got to set the hook, mostly because no one was shorting it there. Everybody's still short this thing, which means that you probably don't have as much downside as you would like. Also would love to see a huge rip in this that just really scares all the shorts out. And generally, that's where I like to plant my flag. Shorts are generally the weakest hands in any market when it goes against them. When the whole market's going down, doesn't really matter that much. But when you're on a highly shorted stock like this, a lot of times the first week of a downtrend in the market can go against you in a short stock as they continue to squeeze you as hard as they can. I want to look at some stocks and see how they're doing today. I saw some kind of low volume tests, or at least tests for support. Advanced Auto Parts, I've been looking at this one. They got, around $150. They're not seeing a lot. Volume today about 908,000 shares. I would like to get or look at this at somewhere about 147.50. So it still has a little bit to go. If volume dries up in the next few days, that may be a stock at fairly decent support. Electronic Arts had a fairly decent report. I think a lot of people were expecting it a lot worse. Got to 97.07 again today after basically getting about 97 yesterday too on those earnings. But again, pretty nebulous on what those new plans are. But during the conference call, that's really what drove Electronics Arts, is talking about new products in the fall. Maybe other people know more than I know about that. Cars, another one that we're looking at for potential lows in this market. Yesterday, tested a 2.3 million share low back on June 3rd with a 1.6 million share low yesterday. Today, you got about 1.3 million shares. It closes back above about $19, put this back into the trading range. So you want to watch that the next couple of days as the market continues to show some weakness. Carbon Black, one of the cybersecurity firms, one of the weaker stocks out here. I wouldn't short a $19 stock, but certainly fairly weak, testing a 5 million share high for May 14th. Yesterday, you had, 887,000 shares. Today, almost no movement, even though on that light test, so you want to keep an eye on that. DHI, which is a DH Horton. Even with the bad news today, this thing's holding up pretty close to the $47.02 high of April 24th. You did go higher. You're probably going to close a little lower. Volume's already about 4.8 million shares. So in the scheme of things, could be a whole lot worse. EGO, we talked about this one for a while on whether or not it could even start to go in there and kill the buzz of this thing, since it's been on an upside trend since the 11th of June. And again, briefly touched underneath it and right back up to the top. So no sign on it. FireEye came out with earnings and it was a disaster. Bounced a little yesterday. Back down today, though, without a lot of volume, about the low 13s, mid 13s on light volume. May set up a low on that one. 5, which I think is 5 below. It is. This has been one of the better performing IPOs and retail stocks. Up on the 7th of January at 1.9 million shares for that gap up. It's back down to that today. So you need 1.9 million shares. Today you got about 759,000 shares. This is where I'm thinking a lot of this support is going to be coming in right around this 29.50. A lot of these charts line up just the same way. I wouldn't get froggy tomorrow. They may push it a little bit farther down, but I think by Monday we might see something. Lumber liquidators, because there's not enough of liquid lumber. Talked about this one yesterday. Did get a little bit more volume. Again, probably highly susceptible to tariffs, since most of their highly, would you call it, caffeinated wood with all kinds of nasty stuff in it comes from China. It doesn't have the volume, though. $8.81 back on March 18th with about 7 million shares. It's been getting into it, 3 million shares, under 3 million shares. Today with 2.4 million shares, probably going to get close to 3. Any close back above 881 and a change in the tariff policy may be a big deal. Lore, this one blew apart yesterday. We didn't really talk much about it on the air. These, of course, are the pay-to-play education stocks that we saw brutalized, bludgeoned, hung, shot, stabbed, drawn and quartered many years ago. There's still a couple of them still around. This one, you want to talk about a huge $20 instant cut on earnings. A little bounce today, though, and back to its gap-up support, which is on the 21st of February. Eventually, these things are all going to roll back over like the rest of them, I assume, as they one day get labeled exactly what they are. As we go to break, 29.52 on the S&P cash. We'll take a look at the volume when we come back.
If you're in the CD market and looking for a secure investment, the Tiger First Mortgage Program may work for you. The security for these first mortgages are building lots in the Tax Opportunity Zone in St. Petersburg, Florida. The Tax Act of 2018 set up tax-free zones across the country where you can build and hold for 10 years and pay no tax on the profits, which makes these lots valuable. The investment is anywhere from $30,000 to $75,000. The interest paid is 7% yearly, paid on a monthly basis. According to Bankrate.com, the best rate for a 4-year CD in the country as of February 20th is 3.1%. A $50,000 investment at a normal 4-year CD rate of 3.1% would give you income of $1,550 per year or $6,200 over the 4-year period. That same $50,000 investment in the Tiger First Mortgage Program would give you $3,500 per year or $14,000 over the 4 years. Which would you prefer, $6,200 or $14,000 of interest on your investment? If you would like more information about the Tiger First Mortgage Program, you can call me at 877-518-9190. That's 877-518-9190.
If you haven't checked out the newsletters page of TFNN.com, what are you waiting for? All of the TFNN newsletters are informative, up-to-date, affordable, and a must-have for every trader looking to gain a competitive informational edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets to offer you the very latest in market news. Plus, new subscribers get to test drive our newsletters risk-free for 30 days. From all aspects of the markets, including stocks, bonds, metals, commodities, and tech, there's a newsletter to fit your needs exclusively from TFNN. Stay informed each day you trade and get that competitive edge that will help you stay ahead of the game. Visit our newsletters page by going to TFNN.com and click the newsletters button near the top of the page. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Are China A shares hot or not? If you trade China A shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A Share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
And if we look at the volume, what do we got here? Hour and 18 minutes left in the trading day, 6.2 billion shares. So volume is good. 10 billion shares by the end of the day would be something that would be significant. If it ends up more like 8 billion shares or 8.5 billion shares, could just blow out the candle fairly quickly, which has been the history of pullbacks as of late. Dollar index, 98.12 is the last tick, which is down about 13 cents. Of course, it was up about 98.65-ish. So a nice pullback there. Early in the day, I was looking at it and talking to a friend of mine. I thought, is there anything that's going to keep the dollar going through 100? My friend was bearish. And guess you got the answer today. You can email me at path@tfnn.com or give me a call at 877-927-6648. Okay, what else do we have going on here? I don't know why this thing keeps flipping back. We're a little under that 29.50 I've been looking for, 29.48 on the S&P cash. The volume is coming in. Again, a lot of these stocks, there's some fairly good index volume. The volume on a lot of these stocks I'm looking at, not that severe. Another stock in the cybersecurity space is Palo Alto Networks. It's back up to its big gap down that goes back to May 13th with 1.2 million shares. Yesterday it had about 1 million shares, about 633,000 so far. So you don't really have that much in the way to push that higher. Next lower move here is at about 218 on that one. What else do we have? Uber. I was kind of surprised. I hadn't looked at Uber for a while after its messed up IPO. It's down a bit. Not a lot of volume. Remember, there isn't that many shares of Uber available. This was one of those sliver deals where about 10% of what's out there did come out. I would be very interested in seeing overall. Don't have that yet, but I will add it. Why it's? Oh, I know why it's not there. Okay. What do we got? Go back to this. I got about 20% short 2 days ago, 15% short yesterday. Those are daily shorting numbers. It doesn't tell you how many of those people held those shorts into today. They could have been short and got out of it. Of course, option market makers, not just option market makers, but all market makers for the equities are always shorting stocks to keep liquidity and the markets moving in their stocks a lot of times. And of course, they don't have to cover by the end of the day and got fairly loose rules, but they continue to win or lose the same way. so they don't want to be on the wrong side that much or that long. But we got some interesting stuff. But maybe down at $40, you're not that far away. That may be at least the worst. And of course, if you believed even 1/10 of the pie in the sky stuff that they were yelling about this when it IPO'd, you might want to look at it. I'm just thinking that with as few shares as this thing has out in the open float, it might be very easy to see Uber with a massive short interest. Any real push higher in the markets might change that, although I know a lot of things are going against them these days. What else we did? SYY, which is Cisco Corporation, not the one you're thinking of. This is the restaurant Cisco. Got into a 7.7 million share June 3rd low from $67.97. You did go through that by a dime yesterday. You did that on not quite half the volume. It certainly did. Does not look that bad. I know there's a lot of issues with these companies now, but interesting nonetheless. Fairly light volume today, but a test of the previous low on half the volume. Energy was significantly lighter off that June 12th high, so you may want to keep an eye on the restaurant stocks. Wendy's, of course, also out here testing its previous low of 3.3 million shares on May 29th. You got let's call it 3.4 million shares. Got into it yesterday with 1.9 million shares. Today, just 1 million shares on Wendy's. And again, any close back above 1811 puts us right back into the trading range. And there was a lot of energy on the way up to $20.14, that June 7th high. Energy back has been very low. This is one of the more bullish looking stocks, but again, $2 on $20 for a retest of the high. I don't know if I'd want to get into that, risk reward being what it is. Jazz Pharmaceuticals, again, kind of interesting to see politically about being able to buy pharmaceuticals from Canada to be repatriated here in the United States. Hasn't done a lot. I thought maybe there might be more. Maybe there's just no appetite in the Congress and the House of Representatives to actually push that bill, or the fact that Canada has already decided to rope off the border, not having any illegal immigration south of the border with their drugs. They're afraid that their drugs will become very expensive. But interesting nonetheless. We looked at Uber. We looked at some other stuff. What else I wanted to look at? We looked at lumber, liquidators. The 5E. That's kind of it. Let's see what Amazon's doing, some of the big guys out here today. If we didn't tell you that it was a big tariff issue, I don't think anybody would say anything about the movement in Amazon today other than just a continuation of being a little bit light on earnings, down to 1844 today. So, I mean, volume, about 3.5 million shares compared to yesterday at about 4.5 million shares. Day before, about 3 million shares, 4.5. I don't see anything that says it sticks out that people are running away from Amazon, although it is lower. We looked at Microsoft. We looked at Apple. Let's look at Netflix, which, of course, wasn't doing that good to begin with after its big gap down. To talk to a lot of the people that have already said that they've canceled their Netflix subscription too. I'm wondering if that 188,000 user loss in the States is anything new. But you don't have a lot of volume in this one either. This one, of course, blew up, popped back up, got to $336, back down today at $320. My guess is that it's going to take yet another earnings call that they miss to really put the nail in the coffin of this. What else do we have? Yeah, we did get a little bounce here off that area. 29.57 and 53 is the last quote I see on the S&P cash. Again, I think we can play around here and maybe even see a little bit more push into Friday. and then see fun buying money come in Monday when everybody's adjusted to it. Everybody's a little jumpy, a little itchy on the trigger finger. We'll be back in a minute.
I'm certain you are or strive to be one of the best at everything you do in life. It's the most common trait that we tigers and tigresses share. If you're looking to become the best of the best when it comes to managing your money, let me teach you to do what most wealth managers tell you can't be done, which is how to time the markets. I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability, and for the last 12 months, Timer Digest has been tracking my newsletter signals, which have earned me the ranking as their #1 market timer in the nation for the S&P 500 for the last 12, 6, and 3 months. Timer Digest also ranks me as the #1 market timer for gold as well. The fact is, markets can be timed, and I'll teach you the exact set of tools that I use that has transformed me into one of the best at what I do. Sign up for Mastering Probability today by clicking on the newsletter tab on the homepage of TFNN.com and get immediate access to workshops where I take you step by step how to use an extraordinary set of tools as well as provide great market calls too. Sign up today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today. Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
And we got a little bounce out of here, but not much of one. 29.59. At 29.60. Kind of hit where my target was, but like I said, we're into Thursday. I'm not a big fan of a lot of people throwing themselves on grenades. We got Hong Kong still hanging out there, and what would the market do if they decide to send troops in? I think if they don't send them in this week, or this weekend, we're probably safe from that headline that could move the markets. So probably what the market's looking for next. Again, we're going to have some fun money coming in come Monday. It's going to be good. It's probably going to be much better than it has been in the past because, of course, the Fed isn't going to be pulling out $30 billion in those bonds going forward. That was a big part of the market. So while everybody's concentrating on the half point instead of the quarter point instead of the half point, I think that the much better signal here is that bond pulling out those bonds at $30 billion a month going forward. And I think everybody's kind of just distracted at the moment. with too many headlines. I think when this all dust settles and everybody gets to think about it, get a deep breath come this weekend, and start seeing a little fun money coming in, that may change the world. Anyway, that's what I'm thinking. It was thinking this morning, and the only difference is that the market did bounce my way. I gotta have to say that I thought maybe I'd missed it earlier in the morning, but I was wrong about being wrong. How many times have you done that? But that's kind of it. Anyway, we've got a lot of volume. We'll see how that comes in beyond the end of the day. If that transfers into a lot of stocks, the stocks that I've looked at so far today, not so far. But again, a lot of that money comes in right at the end of the day. Hang on to Tom O'Brien for the next couple of hours. We'll be talking about looking at earnings after the bell, like Square and Etsy. That's kind of it. GoPro, Tandem, a couple other companies, OLED, a few out there that might flip around. I don't think any that'll move. So when you can, not when you have to. See you tomorrow. Stay back.